This is what they call the Nashville Stratocaster. There's no gilt attached to the £369 guitar. It actually does sound far more authentic than I expected it to. I'm not really sure if I like the look of it or not. It's either brilliant or pretty ugly, not sure. My verdict actually is, I'm not, okay, here's the thing. Hello, thanks for joining us. Welcome to the Guitaristas. So we're back with another affordable guitar to review. So this is another Squier Paranormal. This is what they call the Nashville Stratocaster. So it's one of the mashups of a Nashville Telecaster with a Stratocaster, which is slightly confusing because a Nashville Telecaster is already a kind of a mashup of what's the Stratocaster pickup layout and a Telecaster. And I suppose what they've done here is, I don't know what they've done really, it's a bit confusing. I suppose they've kind of reversed that a little bit. It's a Strat body. It's got a Strat pickup layout, sort of, although it's got a Telecaster style neck pickup, scratch plate, control plate. Oh, and the double bound body, which is a Telecaster thing, isn't it? And no contours. So it's a bit fucking weird, to be honest with you. I'm not really sure if I like the look of it or not. So maybe by the end of this film, we'll kind of make a call on that. It's either brilliant or pretty ugly. Not sure. I do know, however, I really like the colour. Aztec Gold, this one. It comes in the Aztec Gold or Chocolate Sunburst. Well, those are the retail colours. However, old Fender have been a bit sneaky, or a bit clever really, trying to sell to you direct. So they got a web exclusive on the Fender website for Fiesta Red, if you fancy that. Same price. These are selling in the UK, £369 in retail, and the same on the Fender website. In the US of A, $429.99. So it's pretty affordable, isn't it, in this day and age? And as we know, Squiers are, well, as you should know, Squiers are really good. Well, they're really good bang for buck, as they say in YouTube land. So what I'm going to do today is take it apart, obviously, and have a look under the surface, do all the weights and measures, and see what it's like, and play it and see what it sounds like. See what it's got. Lots of different pickup configurations, and a push full. It's got a push pull. It's got about 7 different settings on this, so that's going to confuse the hell out of me, obviously. But we'll have a go. So here you go. It'll be a long one. Don't forget, timestamps are in the description box, so you can skip forward to to hear any one of those 7 positions if you want. Or what I urge you to do is go and put the kettle on, make a nice cup of tea, get some biscuits, or, you know, get something a little bit stronger to drink, I mean, or to eat, I don't care. It's up to you. Do what you want, but come back and let's chill out and review this thing. Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so this has got a poplar body and a maple neck. Glossy finish. This is polyurethane finish, this. So, yeah, just glossy, shiny. Nothing. Sometimes these necks have got a satin feel. Not this one. It's just kind of bog standard, really. But it's a nice finish. There's no blemishes that I can see. Really nice. I like this colour, Aztec Gold. As you can see, it's a bit sparkly. Well, hopefully you can see that on the camera. Yeah, that's one of the things I do like about the look of this guitar. I like the finish. And it's got this lovely aged white binding, double bound, like, again, it's a Telecaster influence, isn't it? Which is really cool. Aged white, looks very good. Yeah. No, you know, the paintwork's all even round the binding. Don't know if they scrape these or what, but it's a pretty good job for a guitar that costs £369. So yeah, medium C profile neck, laurel fingerboard, narrow tall frets. We'll have a closer look at all that in a second. Synthetic bone nut, nice. I've forgotten what they call this style of tuner, but it's the Fender style locking, not locking. Well, it is locking. Hang on, Clusen metal button tuners with this kind of slot lock. I don't know what they're called. Sorry, I've forgotten. Slot locks. We'll call them that for now. Which are great. You know, nothing wrong with these tuners at all. You know, gone are the days where the first thing you'd have to do on this kind of price guitar is change the tuners. You know, gig with those, no problem, I'm sure. But there you go. Yeah, it's a good looking thing. It's got a reasonable weight. Let's actually weigh it and find out what it is. Okay, I'm guessing around about 8. Yes, I'm very well dialed in today. 7 pounds 15 ounces, or 3.6 kilograms. So yeah, it's a kind of medium weight guitar, really, isn't it? Now this has got a 25.5-inch Fender scale length, 9.5-inch radius board, medium C profile, as I said. Let's have a look at the neck profile and measurements up on the screen now. Here's the neck profile and measurements at the 1st fret. And here's the neck profile and measurements at the 12th fret. And it feels nice, feels good. Gloss, I'd prefer satin, but it's just normal, you know. So that's cool. Right, so I think what we'll do now is we'll take the strings off and we'll have a closer look at that board and the frets, and then we'll get into the nitty gritty. Have a look underneath the pickups and the control plate and stuff. So let's do that. Now the great thing about these slot locks, you can just do that. And if you loosen them enough, that is. Oh, I failed. Trying to be clever then, and I failed miserably. Come on. I mean, you still have to cut them there because you don't really want to be pulling that lot past through the saddles. Or I don't want to be anyway. You might want to. I don't. I don't know what you do I? Now, this is, so string through. Or, as you can see, hopefully, in that camera, you've also got the 6 holes here. So if you want to string it up top loader style, you can. Which is a nice option to have. It might, you know, might be worth experimenting, see if it sounds any different. And this, of course, has got the vintage style Telecaster bridge, ashtray bridge, should I say, with the barrel saddles, 3 barrel saddles, chrome plated on this one. With the slots. This is kind of like the 60s style one, isn't it? Closer look at the fingerboard and frets now. Laurel fingerboard, as I said. Could do with a little bit of a drink, that one, I think. I might do that before I put the strings on. Anyway, narrow tall frets. They are quite, they're quite narrow and quite tall. Do you know what? I noticed this. I took this home and I was playing it. I did notice a difference when I was kind of sliding up some noodles, and I could feel them. I just thought, oh, I felt that. Did it impede my slick noodling? Probably not. I don't know. It probably wasn't slick enough. But anyway, I did feel it. So it might be a thing for you. If you like real chunky, medium, jumbo frets, you might not be comfortable with these. Finish-wise, I've just noticed a little bit of sharpness literally there. As far as all the rest goes. Yeah, I mean, it's not the best finish in the world, but there's nothing to concern you or me. A tiny little bit of rub of a sandpaper there, or maybe just literally up and down, might be good, just to give it a final touch of smoothness. But it's a £369 guitar, so really, not so long ago you'd be expecting it to be all buzzy and shit, wouldn't you? And that ain't the case with this. I've been playing it all week at home. And no, I haven't noticed any issues. Certainly no fretting out or anything. So, and the tuning stability was good. These nuts are always cut well. Synthetic bone, I said that earlier as well, didn't I? I think I'm a bit out of order today. I had a week off. I can't remember how to do it. So there's all that. That's all that. We've spoken about the bridge. We've spoken about the slot locks. So now I think what we'll do is we'll take it apart and have a closer look inside. Let's get so it's kind of got a half loaded, well, it's got a loaded scratch plate, isn't it? Or pick guard. Someone tell me what the right term is, please. I keep making that mistake. It's got a loaded thing, and I'm going to unscrew that now, and we'll have a look inside. Oh, I'll tell you what, before we do that, let's take some pickup readings. I haven't plugged this in yet. I don't even know if it works, so let's find out. Okay, and as you can see, it's got the Tele style cup socket. Now this is going to be interesting. The problem with all the electronics is things can go wrong. So let's find out if anything's gone wrong in shipping first. We're going to start off with the bridge pickup on its own. 7.03 kilo ohms, 2.96 Henrys is the inductance. Now we'll slip straight over to the middle first. And we've got 5.74 kilo ohms with an inductance of 2.32 Henrys. And then we'll slip up to the neck. We've got a 7.42 kilo ohms with a 2.13 Henrys inductance reading. So let's just refresh our memory. Neck 7.42k, middle 5.74k, bridge 7.03. So there you go. Now let's have a look at some in-betweeners. This is the bridge, and is there any point? Not really, is there? Because they're not really going to mean anything, are they? Well, we might as well do it. 3.2k with the neck and the middle. 3.2k with the bridge in the middle. And now let's get confusing even more. bridge on its own, 7.03. Let's bring the neck into the equation by using the push-pull on the master tone. So this is now the bridge and the neck, 3.66K. And where else? Oh yeah, this. Oh fuck, I'm lost now. So that's that and the neck. Oh yeah, sorry, I'm back. Okay, yeah, positions 1 and 2, it brings the neck into the equation as well. That's right. So bridge on its own, bridge and neck. We'll go through this with it plugged in so we can actually hear this. This is just for the nerds. Bridge and neck, 3.66. Sorry, bridge and neck, 3.66. And then on position 2, we've got all 3. That's right, with the pull out. Yeah, all 3. Da, da, da. 1, 2, 3. Because that is those 2 in position 2. And then we pull out, and that brings the neck in as well. Whew, it's confusing, isn't it? Well, I'm looking forward to hearing that in a short while. Before we do that, let's have a look underneath and see what they look like. And these are Fender designed Alnico pickups, incidentally. Let's have a look and see what they look like underneath. Now, you may or may not have noticed that this control plate is the other way around. Normally, Telecasters are that way around. You can probably, if the wires are long enough, you can easily flip it. And I think they probably are. But anyway, it's normally that way around. Oh yeah, you can see straight away. So you can have it either way. I'm just trying to work out. And yeah, and the controls would be the same. So what I'm going to just do for now is just flip that there like that. So here we've got a fairly neat little setup. You can see the push-pull here with a cap. I can't... let me get my torch. 122 cap, that I think. It says 223J. That's what that is, isn't it? I still don't know anything about that sort of stuff. But there you go. Obviously, a lot of confusing wiring there. I don't know what that pot brand is either. Sorry, I'm hopeless. So that's not really much help to you, is it? Look, that's what it looks like. With a little PCB board 5-way switch. There you go. And under here, let's see if we've got enough room to flip it. Very neat and tidy. There's a couple of holes for the pickups. And the pickups, yeah, they just Fender designed Alnicos. There's no more info than that. I won't take the bridge off and out because I imagine that'll look exactly like these underneath or very similar. Actually, I will. I just want to, might as well, mightn't I, just to see what the... Can I get that out without fucking with the saddles? Just. Was it worth it? Bit more cable, that's it. Yeah, I just wanted to see what the base plate was made out of. Plastic by the looks of it. Yeah. There you go. That is what the pickups look like. There's the earth wire there, by the way, just coming up. That gets locked in when you screw the bridge down. Yeah, and there's, I wish I knew what that pot was. It's annoyed me now that I don't know that, because I feel like I've let you down. But, I can't tell you stuff I don't know. I haven't researched. I'll research that, I'll find out, so the next time I know. It is a bit of a learning curve, this, for all of us. There you go, that's what that looks like. So I think what we'll do now is we'll put it all back together, put a new set of strings on, plug it in, and we'll come back and let's have a play, go through all this stuff and see what it sounds like. See you in a minute. Okay, here we are. So unplugged first, it sounds like this. Quite nice and bright. The rig today, I'm using a Deluxe Reverb 2 because my Princeton's still in the fixing shop. It blew a capacitor, so that's being fixed, hopefully. So I've dug out my old Deluxe Reverb 2, which is kind of broadly the same. It's 22 watts rather than 15, and it's a 12-inch speaker, although this has got the, quite rare, I think, Electro Voice 12-inch speaker in it with a metal cone, so it's quite bright. It sounds like this. So that's the bridge. So this is going to get complicated because there's 7 different. Hang on. 7 different positions. So that's position 1. Position 2. It's that Strat sound, isn't it? I hate that, honestly. Sounds like fucking Pinky Perky. Pinky and Perky, sorry. Pinky Perky, who's that? What that needs is a rat to chase the pigs away. Yeah, I don't. That's what people do when it sounds a bit funky, don't they? Oh, I suppose. Well, that may be. Yeah, well, that's that. That's that quack sound that I hate so much. So that's in position 2. Middle position, which is just the Strat pickup in the middle. Suppose that's a bit, well, it sounds like a Strat, doesn't it? That's the middle. So position 4 will be those two together. It's kind of more of the same sort of stratiness, isn't it? No real balls behind it. You definitely need to add a bit of what I'm doing. And the neck, sounds quite like a Tele pickup, I suppose, because it is. So it's definitely got that Telecaster flavour, isn't it? Certainly in the neck position and in the bridge position. Obviously need a little bit of drive, oh, a bit more top on that as well. Better not do too much of that, I'll get another copyright strike. So yeah, that's, well, so positions 1 and positions 5 sounds pretty much like a Tele, I suppose, as you might expect, because it's got the identical rig. The other 3 positions sound like a Strat, and I probably wouldn't use them very much. It's got 2 other positions, however. Let's explore those. So in position 1, which is the bridge pickup, you've got a push-pull, which engages the neck as well. So without that engaged, let's have a listen, just the bridge. Engage the neck. And then same with position 2, which is those two. You can also engage the neck, so you've got the whole 3 then. So that sounds like this without the neck engaged. Pinky and Perky. With the neck engaged. Pinky and Perky with a bit of fat on them. Let's play something and just muck around with some of those positions and see what it sounds like. Here we go. What should we do? I quite like that little little riff. That's actually, I spoke about this earlier, these narrow tall frets. So let's turn all that off. When you're sliding like that, you can, I kind of just snagged my finger on one as I was doing that. I'll show you that again. I just kind of, I think you have to get used to them. Anyway, that was that. Yeah, so it's all right actually, isn't it? It's not bad. It's not bad. There's, you know, lots. The problem I have with guitars with the switching and all too many options. It's too many options. My brain can't cope with it. my favourite guitar has got one single P90 and a tone and a volume control. And you can get quite a lot of sounds out of that. This is fine. I suppose the whole point of the Nashville thing, maybe, and I'm making this up, I don't know if this is fact or not, but maybe the whole Nashville idea, Nashville Telecaster, was that it had a versatile guitar for players, you know, maybe session musicians, but certainly players in Nashville. So they could just take one guitar out, a Telecaster. And now there's a Strat version as well. So I would say, yeah, okay. Well, look, we'll talk about this. We'll come back in a minute and talk about this. Let's just have a little bit more of a play, and then we'll come back and we'll talk some more. There you go. There's a load of old nonsense, wasn't it? I like the clash bit at the end, personally. That was my favourite. That sounded really, really like a Telecaster, didn't it? Gave us that kerrang. But anyway, that's all designed to kind of show off the sounds of the guitar, not my playing. That's always the point of my demos. I'm trying to show you what the guitar sounds like. That's my excuse anyway. And it sounds like a Strat and it sounds like a Telecaster, I think. I think you'll agree. To me, anyway. It's funny, actually. So I started making this film on last Tuesday. It's Thursday now. This will be posted tomorrow on YouTube, tomorrow, Friday, tonight, about midnight tonight on the TV channel. Started making this film on Tuesday, did all the first talky bit and taking it apart. And then on Tuesday, while that was rendering in, I had a go at the playing. Thought, I'll see if I can capture something today. And quite frankly, I was a bit shit. And I thought the guitar sounded shit. So I deleted it all. I came back in, so I kind of went away thinking, well, you know, I don't like the sound of this guitar at all. There was nothing I liked about it. Wednesday, however, was a new day. And I came in Wednesday and I recorded all that. And, well, my head was in it a little bit more, I hope, I think. Anyway, I got away with it. And I must say that some of the sounds that I coaxed out of it, I thought were quite reasonable, quite acceptable. So my verdict, actually, is it's all right, isn't it? It's all right. It's out of the box, okay, I've got nothing really to criticise about this guitar for £369, you know, bearing in mind, it's great. It's great. It actually does sound far more authentic than I expected it to. So these, I think it says a lot for those that say that pickups are the fundamental kind of thing that shapes the sound of a guitar. These were fundamentally Strat-like tones and Telecaster-like tones. In my opinion, let me know if you disagree, but in my opinion, yeah, it kind of does what it says on the tin. So I like it. I'm not, okay, here's the thing. I would prefer it if it had a Telecaster body. I'm not a big, you know, I don't dislike it, but I think a Strat body, it's all about the contour, isn't it? It's the famous contour body of the Strat that makes it so appealing because it's such a comfortable guitar. It's the one thing about Stratocasters that I do like is how comfortable they are, you know, before you start bashing your hand on the knobs. This hasn't got that benefit of the contour, so I don't see a lot of point in this unless you really like the look, and you know, if you really like the look, great. But I would definitely go for a Telecaster style body, which of course then is just a Nashville Telecaster, isn't it? That's how it started out. So, yeah, I think I get the point of it as well. I get the point of it, and I think for me, I think what I'll do is I'll flip this because I don't love it. I don't love it. I'm gonna flip this. But what I think I might do is get the Nashville Telecaster. Try and get a Squier Nashville Telecaster. I don't think they're making them currently, but I know there's used ones around. I'll have a look out for that. I'm not going to keep this. It's a good platform for mods if you want. If I was going to mod this, the first thing I would change is the chrome saddles. I'd put some brass saddles on there. I think that would make quite a lot of difference. I think that would soften it up. I think it's got a bit of a harshness to it. I was from the get-go. I was just rolling the tone back a little bit just to soften it up, and that worked. I didn't really get much chance to go through the tone and volumes in this because there was so much else going on, but they were working. They did work. So yeah, I would be inclined to change the saddles for brass ones, and maybe at the same time upgrade the ashtray for maybe a better quality metal. Obviously, the thing about the Squiers is they're cheaper metals, so it's gonna have some kind of effect on the tone. The pickups do the job, but of course you could go anywhere with this, really, couldn't you? And you could even put a humbucker in the neck if you wanted. I didn't mention it earlier, but I did put a little note on the screen that it's routed for a humbucker. So if you wanted to, I would say if you wanted to ruin it and put a humbucker in, you can. I mean, I wouldn't do that because one of my favourite tones on this guitar were the neck pickup because it sounded like a Telecaster neck pickup, which can be quite nice, especially when it's overdriven, and the bridge pickup, which sounded like a Telecaster. All of the in-betweens was that kind of Strat-like tone that I'm not a big fan of. So, yeah, but you could put a humbucker in it if you wanted. So, very easy to love this guitar, to be honest with you. £369, a lot of fun, really, a lot of fun. Get yourself one. There's no guilt. There's no guilt attached to a £369 guitar. It's very easy to, yeah, have fun with, really, as it is, or muck around with it. And then if in a year's time or a week's time or however you want, change it for something else, you won't lose very much money on it. You'll still get... The Squier's an interesting one because they've been kind of doing various versions of this kind of this Paranormal. They used to do vintage modified, and I had some really interesting vintage modifieds, actually. I had an offset shaped one, which was really cool, and I had a Telecaster one which actually had a Jazzmaster neck on it and a Jazzmaster pickup in the neck position, and it was white, and it was bloody lovely, and I really wish I'd kept it because the point I was going to make, they're fairly cheap to start with, and then over a few years they do go up in value. That's a really good link into my Epiphone Joe Bonamassa SG Custom, because this is one of those guitars, isn't it? I reviewed it a few weeks ago and it was very expensive, and that was the whole point of my review. And lots of people say, well, it's an investment, that'll go up in value. And I think, well, on this occasion, I think they're wrong. I do think they're wrong. I think that Epiphone jumped the shark, definitely, with their pricing. And the days when you could buy a Joe Bonamassa signature guitar and it would go up in value are gone. Sure, you can, maybe Lazarus is worth more now, but because that was almost half the price of this to start with. So I think they dropped a bollock with this. As nice as it is, and the link, that was a good little link actually, because I've had this a couple of weeks, and it is a great guitar, and I've said that in reviews, so check the review out. I'm not dissing this guitar, just the price that they charge for it. in the UK, this cost £1,499. In the US, it was $1,400. It was a lot of money. I wanted to get this to, obviously, to review it for the channel, and because I thought, oh, it's really nice. I can't justify keeping it, so I'm going to flip this. That's the point of this bit. I'm going to flip this, and if it's on Reverb now, the link's in the description box, unless it's sold. If it's not on there, it's been sold already. But I'm going to flip this and get some of the money back to spend it on more guitars, because I cannot possibly justify keeping a 1,500 quid Epiphone, particularly because I bought a Gibson for exactly the same amount just several weeks before this. So I'm going to flip this, and so if you're after one, I mean, they're still available. They're not sold out. Is it a limited edition? Don't know. They're still available all over the UK anyway, in all the shops for £1,499. But if you want to get a couple of £100 off for a lightly used version, abused by me, and it will include the certificate of authenticity if you want, which says the instrument was bought, reviewed, taken apart, messed with, and badly played on our YouTube and television channels. Like all RX demo guitars, this example may bear the scars of careless handling by an idiot. That's me, of course. I'll put that in. It hasn't been carelessly handled, actually. I will polish the pickups. It's got a very light scratching on the pick guard. So it's as new, obviously, with all the bits that it came with. What was I saying? So yeah, I'm going to flip it, and you know, I can't afford to keep this thing. I should say at this point, thanks to the inner sanctum of guitaristas over on the TV channel for even making this purchase possible. It's fan funded, this channel. YouTube doesn't pay enough to pay for my time, let alone the guitars that I keep buying. And this channel, as you should know, isn't sponsored. I pay for everything on here. I don't like to accept free guitars or money for reviews because I want to remain independent. There's been a lot of talk just recently on some of the other YouTube channels, you know, people dedicating whole films to that whole debate, you know, if people are gifted gear or paid for reviews, can they be honest about things? I'm not questioning anyone else's integrity, but for me, okay, as far as this channel's concerned, well, there's no question, is there? Because everything's paid for. There's no line, you know, that I'm walking up to thinking, well, I better not cross that line in case I get, you know, blacklisted. There's no line, you know. I'm blacklisted all over the place. Probably, you know, I've never been offered an Epiphone because I've told the truth from day one. I've sung their praises when it was deserved, and I've said it was shit when it was shit. And this guitar is a brilliant guitar, but I've said from the very get-go, I said that twice today, haven't I? It's far too expensive. It's too expensive. However, you can buy it at a discount if you want one. So, yeah, guitaristas.tv, it's the new address for the TV channel, just to make it a little bit easier to remember, theguitaristas.tv. Please check that out, because we're growing a community here. The whole point is that if we can grow that community, you know, to next level, the possibilities here are exciting, really, because it enables the funding of things without any grey areas, so that we can seriously take a look at what's going on in the guitar industry and pull it apart and say what we think, and perhaps make a difference. I don't know, but it's for you, okay? All of this is for you, okay? And I appreciate that not all of you can afford, it's $5 a month, okay? $5 a month. So what's that? Less than a cup of coffee a month to support the community that we're building here. And you guys, and I, as I was saying, I appreciate that not everyone can afford that. But thanks to the supporters there, it's going to enable me to look at more stuff like this for us and then flip it. unless I really like it. I've bought too many guitars lately, so I can't possibly keep this one. And I'm going to flip the one that we were talking about today as well. Yeah, the Nashville Stratocaster. But I'm going to take that up to my local music emporium in Southend. If you live in Southend, you'll know where that is. Get up there quick. You might get a nice deal on that. I'm going to swap that for something else. And, God, blimey, I've rabbited it today, haven't I? I think I've got it all covered. I'm going to go and have a look now. Check that in the edit. I might have to come back and do it all again. We'll see. Yeah, reverb link is in the description box. Check that out. If it's still there, it's still available. It could be yours. UK, I mean, you know, I've listed it for the States and rest of the world, so you can see it, but, you know, silly shipping prices. I mean, I will ship it to, you know, wherever, but get a proper quote from me first. I mean, you know, maybe you can't get these anymore in the States. Maybe you're prepared to pay the shipping costs. You know, talk to me. But anyway, I'm going to let it go. It's a lovely guitar. It's just about the price and what I can spend that money on. I've got my eye on the new Guild Kim Thale. You know, I'd like to review that. So we'll see. We'll see. I've got to flip this first. That's all. That's all for this week. I think it's more than enough, isn't it? Just one thing. Next week in the UK, it's this weekend it actually happens in the UK, the clocks go back. We're daylight saving at the moment an hour forward. So at the weekend they go back an hour. So if you're not in this time zone, next week's film will drop an hour later than they have been. So there you go, little heads up for you. Thanks for watching, very much appreciated. I'll see you next week, I hope. All right, cheers for now, ta-da.